Hi guys, welcome to tonight's D2L Brightspace Q&A session. I'm Bree Perkins, the Learning and Development Coordinator for both Springfield College and the School of Professional and Continuing Studies. So I just want to start off by asking you guys if you have any questions. You'll notice a mute button in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, microphone. Feel free to unmute yourself, or you can use chat. This session is really guided around what you guys want to know, answering any of those burning questions you have as you've now gotten into D2L and started to use it. So I'll just give you a few moments. Feel free to chime in.
I'm just curious about the grading, and when I go into the grading, how do I actually do it? So,
great question, Marcia. Nice to meet you. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick, and that way I'm a hands-on person, so I'd really like to show how to do it from start to finish. So are you mainly grading assignments, or are you grading discussion boards, or both?
it would be both.
Okay, yeah, I'll show both. So let me go ahead and just share my screen here. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go into my course just like I'm going to be grading here. So here's training demo. This is my course. And I've been having very active students inside here. So what's different between Moodle and between D2L or Brightspace here is that in D2L, you're going to be grading within the activity itself. So for example, I'm going to start with discussions. So I'm going to go into discussions here at the very top, click on this, and you're going to see all of the discussions in the course. So it's not just broken down by week. When you click on discussions, it's every discussion in the course. And so this is week 1, and I can see my students have been extremely busy. So if I want to be able to grade the discussions within here, I'm going to go into the topic. So here's case study 1. And here's the kicker. Instead of going down here, you're going to see all of your students' discussion replies right here. I'm going to click on the topic of their discussion. So for example, this is a post by the wonderful student Bree Perkins. She's been excellent. I click on the topic here, and you can see I have the option, if I click on this drop down here, to assess topic. So if I want to assess topic and assess student. So in this case, I want to assess the student because I'm going to grade this individual student. If I wanted to do the entire topic, I could do the entire topic, but we're going to hit assess student. And it pops up this new screen. And I'm able to give them feedback. So for example, if I wanted them to go into more detail on the history, when it comes to actually giving them a grade, that's where the topic score up here is. Now they have 100, 100, maybe it would be blank if you hadn't graded it yet. I just click on this, and maybe I want to give her a 95. And the key is you want to make sure this checkbox down here that says publish score on save is clicked. Otherwise, the student will not be able to see their grade. It's just kind of held in by you. When I'm all ready, everything looks good. I've got my feedback on there. I've got my score. I just click save and close. And it's going to have me overwrite the grade because I already had one in there. And I've already graded the student. And I can just keep going through all of my students that way. Does that make sense?
It does. If you would have, when you click that down screen,
yep,
and you would have said assess topic, would all of them come up, and then you would grade all of them one right after the other? Is that what that would mean?
So for that, that's going to break it down by users and then the topic score itself. So if they had made multiple replies to the same topic, for the way that these courses are set up, you're not going to be using that as much. Instead, you want to go back to where you see the discussions itself. So if I go to like view topic here, you're going to see, let me go into one that has multiple posts because it's a little bit easier to see that way. Move back to my discussion list. And I know that I have multiple students here in describe your experience. So you'll actually be able to see as you scroll down all the students' posts here. So here's a post, and you can see who posted it and when they posted it right through here. So if I click here, I can also go through and assess the student from that screen. So I don't actually have to click on the post if I don't want to, but I can assess that student. And it's nice because you're also assessing the replies. For a lot of these, you have the original post and then you have the 2 replies that they have to do. You can see how many replies they've done. You can see what their thread is going to be. And you can see this is a blank one here where I haven't assessed the student yet. So I have that blank. I just click here. I can add the score, hit publish, and give my feedback. All right, making sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, let's move to assignments because I think assignments, it's a little bit different. It's along the same vein where you're grading within the assignment, but it can get a little confusing getting into there. So I'm going to click on activities here. And again, I'm still inside my course itself. Click on assignments. And you'll notice all of your assignments listed. So assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the week. If I click on the little arrow next to the assignment I want to grade, I'm going to click View Submissions. Now, as I scroll down, I'm going to be able to see who's submitted, but the screen I personally like is when I click on Files. As I scroll down, you'll notice now I see all of the submissions. So like I had one student that went all out here, includes myself. So I can see all of the submissions inside there. I can see also my other student that's submitted. If I want to be able to grade that, so for example, like here's my document, I just click on it. Takes me into the grading screen. And what's nice about this in comparison to Moodle is that if they submitted it in like a normal file type, like a .doc or a PDF, you see the submission right here. So you don't have to download it and then grade it. You can grade it right from within Brightspace. You don't have to download 32 attachments, open them up, read them, go back, then do your feedback. It's all in one screen. On the right-hand side is where you start to do your assessment. We are going to be building rubrics in here. Hang tight, those are coming. But over here is going to be the important part. So your score will probably be out of 100. So you can put, you know, if I would give them a 97, that's going to be the grade itself. You'll be able to see the student view. This was only worth 4, but I believe everybody's is defaulted to 100 now. So you will not have 2,425%. But you also have the ability to do feedback in here too. I think feedback's the more useful tool than even a grade, is to be able to give them specifics of what they can do better or you know, what they can really focus on for their next paper. So you can add that feedback inside there. And as opposed to some of the other LMSs we looked at, this gives you the ability to record audio as a feedback and record video as a feedback. So again, it just kind of adds that personal touch. Instead of having to type out all of my feedback, maybe I just want to talk to them one-on-one, I just go ahead and click record audio and it will attach it to their grade so they can listen to it. When I'm all done, just hit publish. And that'll publish over to the gradebook. And you can see right down here, you have a next student button. So you can just go quickly through all of the student assignments just by clicking next student. Takes you right into the next one to start grading. I also did make recordings of this kind of demo because I know it's kind of a convoluted process until you get the hang of it. So I made recordings that are inside the instructor training. So when you click on your waffle, as I've been calling it, underneath Brightspace instructor training, I have created underneath content. So this is just like a course, just like we did for everything else. There's going to be something that says engaging and grading with students. And I've created videos of this process. So that way you can walk through it again at your own leisure. You know, when it comes time to grade, they're only a minute long. So you can just watch the process as many times as you need.
I have another question if someone else doesn't.
Go for it.
So how do one of the things that I noticed in my classroom is the assignments are not what my syllabus says, the amount of points. And I had sent an email to Kim asking her, can I change them? Because my syllabus it only goes up to 100 points. And the course has like one assignment is 100. So
yes.
I'm wondering how I change points within this so it matches my syllabus.
Good question. So kind of one of the processes that we went through is finding out with the LMS that there's a lot more options that we had. We've actually gone through in all of these master courses and tweaked the gradebook a little bit. So instead of doing point values of 1 and 2 and 3, which really doesn't give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to grading, we were able to go through and make them all 100, but give the weight to be the same amount. So you're grading out of 100 for each of these. You don't want to necessarily change the point value because that could mess things up with the gradebook itself. But let me go back to my demo course here and show you a gradebook. And I could even take a look at your own course too if you would like. But if I click on grades here, and you can see here, assignments is a category, and inside assignments, I have all of these different assignments. So you see how they're kind of indented over. Each of these is worth 100, but the weight of it is still only worth 50% of the entire grade. So the weight hasn't changed. So you don't want to necessarily change the points of the assignments. We did this because it gives you a lot more flexibility, and students understand 100%. Like if I say you got like a 3 out of 4, they're grabbing their calculators and they're, okay, this is 75. And you know, there's sometimes those discussion posts where they're almost there. They're not really 100%, but they're not a 75 either. So this just gives you a bit more flexibility. Good question though.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I have a question. So from Dr. Collier, there's no submit button on the assignment. So I can actually show you a student view of what it looks like to submit an assignment. So I'm just going to go ahead and just view as learner so that way you guys can see how it looks from the student side of things. So this is my training course from a student view as opposed to instructor now. And you can see it looks very similar to what you're already seeing. I click back on content here. And what's nice about your student view too, and you guys may not have noticed this yet, is that you have the ability to see how far along you are in the course. So I could say I've only completed about 2.72% of the course. This is a good way to motivate them. So even if I click on week 1, I can see how far along I am in just week 1 and how far I need to go. And that includes every time they click a link. So like whether it's a reading or a PowerPoint that I'm clicking on, it shows me what I still have left to do, and I get a check mark. So I'm, okay, I've looked at that resource or I've done that assignment. But I'm just going to go into assignment 1 here. So, or actually, let me go into assignment 2. That way I have one I haven't submitted. I'm going to click on assignment 2. And I'm going to make a video too for learners. That way we can do that. So you can see here, I'm going to submit my file. So I'm going to click upload, and I can, find, I have my lovely fluffy kitten document here. Click choose. And I have now the submit button. It doesn't pop up until you upload a file, but it should show right here, submit. They can add comments to you too. So if I wanted to say, I better get a good grade on this, I worked hard, I can click submit. And now my file has been submitted. You'll know it's submitted successfully. You get a pop-up down here. They also get an email sent to them saying you have successfully submitted this file. If for any reason they're not seeing that submit button, we do have a help resource for them right up in the top left of every single course. Click help, and there's a contact support. We have 24/7 support for these guys, as well as for you. So if you do have questions or if you get stuck, if you just click contact support, they have you fill out a few different pieces of information and they connect you with a live chat right away. There's also things as far as video resources, tutorials, help, a bunch of stuff inside there. You'll also see if I go back, as you scroll down, the live chat has a link here, as well as there's a phone line. So if their computer's not working or if they have questions, they also have that ability there for support. They're looking for the submit rather than the upload button. Yes, so they're looking for that blue submit button. And you won't see an upload button. Once they click the upload, they upload it in there, click submit, and they're going to get that notification on there, which is excellent. As you're playing with it, and I would say playing, but as you're actually using it and our pilot groups, we do want to know what your thoughts or impressions are, because there's a lot of customization in this, from your grade book to how your courses are laid out to how they appear on your screen or the different help options. So if you find something that isn't quite intuitive or isn't working for you, right, let us know. And so that way we can capture that feedback. And even if your students are running into issues, or you're getting, 25 emails that they can't find this or do this, definitely let us know. That's feedback we're taking, we're monitoring, we're passing along to Brightspace. That way we can make it a better experience for everybody. You're kind of our inaugural group, so you guys get the lucky chance of seeing the cool new product first.